Good morning, everyone. It's very exciting. Things are starting to happen, and it looks like we'll soon be able to get back to class. So I'm just waiting to hear from the council exactly how it will work and what my restrictions are, but keep tuned. It's maybe this time next week even. All right, so the benefits of Pilates are many, but disclaimer alert, if you're sitting on the couch watching me, you're not going to get the benefits. You need to get down on the floor and do it. Enjoy. So we'll start off with some balancing. So standing spiral, your flexibility test. So be aware of your tripod foot position, knees are soft, and make sure that you are V-lining. So deep breath in, grow taller. Breathing out, chin to chest, peel your spine off that imaginary wall. Notice how far down you're reaching. V-line, breathing out, use the abdominals to support your spine and curl to the upright. And again, breathe in, grow taller. Breathing out, chin to chest. Try to get as much movement through the vertebrae as possible. Notice how far you are reaching. V-line, use the abdominals to support your spine and curl to the upright. Last one, breathe in, grow taller. Breathing out, chin to chest and roll it down. Notice how far you are reaching. V-line, use the abdominals and uncurl to the upright. We'll go against the wall and do a pec stretch. Just remembering to keep your forearm upright, so try not to have it like that. Forearm upright, elbow a little bit behind your shoulder. Play around with how high you have that elbow. So elbow a little higher than that shoulder, behind your torso, feet towards the center of the room, and leaning forwards into that stretch until the pull comes through into the front of your chest. Looking forwards, not pulling round with your neck. Nice deep breaths. Remember to get the breath to the base of the lungs. Turn your feet towards the wall and ease the arm off and over onto the other side. Turn your feet towards the center of the room, leaning forwards into that stretch. Nice deep breaths, get the breath to the base of the lungs. No pulling round with the neck, just looking directly ahead of you. Turn the feet towards the wall, easing that arm off the wall. And now a little bit of balancing. So you'll be standing on one leg. Just while you're standing on one leg, check that your hip bones are level and that you haven't started to hitch up through one hip. So knee up to the level of the hip. And arms up and out the way, make sure you're not hunching and rounding, and you will flex and point through the foot. You'll straighten and bend through that knee. Squeeze your core. Now keeping that knee at a 90, squeeze the buttocks, take the leg out to the side and back. Keep your hips facing forwards, keep your shoulders relaxed, head balancing on the top of the neck. Squeeze the buttocks to take that leg out to the side and back. Obviously, if you're battling, you can hold on to a chair while you're doing this. Now take that leg out to about a 45-degree angle, try and keep that knee up at the level of the hip, and you will straighten and bend. Strong through your center, strong through that supporting leg, and keep your hips facing forwards. Keep your shoulders relaxed. One more. Bring that leg forwards, arms up, and close your eyes. Nice and strong through your center, and easing out of that, give that leg a shake. I've got to pop up on my screen. I'm just going to cancel that. Okay. Keep your hips nice and make sure those hip bones are level. You've swapped legs now. Knee up to the level of the hip and straighten and bend. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. Flex your foot, straighten and bend. Nice, deep, relaxed breaths. Make sure you're not holding your breath. One more. Now keep your hips facing forward. Squeeze the buttocks to take that leg out to the side and back. Keep your hips facing forwards and think of using the buttocks to get that leg out to the side and back. Nice and strong through that supporting leg. One more. Take that leg out, square your hips off. Keep that knee up at the level of the hip. Try and keep your torso upright. Straighten and bend. Nice and strong through that supporting leg. Think about your tripod foot position on that foot that you are standing on. So create the arch. Don't allow your foot to roll inwards. One more. Bring that leg back. Raising the arms up and closing your eyes. Easing out of that and give that leg a shake. Well done. We will do a single leg squat. Nice functional movement. It's the action as if you're picking something up off the floor. This is also how you should pick something up. But if you do have sore knees, you can just do a smaller range of movement, not dip down quite so low. If those knees aren't going to take this, then sitting in a chair and just doing your knee straightening. So sit well supported in your chair and lock your knee out straight, flex your foot, hold for about the count of 3 or 5 and keep going on that same leg. Do 10 and then swap legs. You can do more if we still haven't finished our single leg squats, but all about your hold there while you lock that knee straight. So you can hold onto your hand weights. So just checking your position, make sure that your feet are hip distance apart, not one behind each other. And as you take it down, your kneecap is behind the line of your toes, and those kneecaps, they stay pointing straight ahead. Don't allow the knees to have that little inwards roll. And just with your back should be straight, not arched, so be aware of that position of the pelvis. Knee stays behind the line of the toes. So we're aiming for 10 each leg. You can do your own counting. Up on the ball of that back foot. So chest to the thigh, just as if you're picking something up, squeeze the buttocks to come up nice and straight. So drop yourself back and down, squeeze the buttocks to come up. So if your knee is sore, you can go down, not quite so low, but still being aware of all those proportions. Breathe out to low, deep breath in to come up. Try to keep in time with me. Push up through that front heel. Squeeze the buttocks to drive yourself back up. One more. And changing sides. So make sure that your feet are straight and not turned out. Chest to the thigh, squeeze the buttocks to come up. That full weight on your front leg. Don't keep shifting the weight to the back leg. That back leg is just there for balance. So full weight on that front leg. Squeeze the buttocks as you drive up. Be careful to keep those knees aligned and a little inwards roll of those knees. Well done. All right. We'll bring it down to the floor and find those abdominals. Because I know you're looking forward to your hover. Just coming in a bit closer. All right, a bit of stretching first. Your hamstring stretch. So you can use the band. If you need to, pop your towel or pillow behind your head to protect your knee. So band wide around the forefoot of your right foot. Either the knee bent to make it easier or the leg straight. And so you're pressing up with the heel, down with the hip, bend the elbows, pull your knee towards your shoulder. Make sure that your foot is nice and flat. Keep your knee as straight as possible, but it is fine to have a little bend in that knee. Keep your shoulder blades pressed into the floor, keep your chin tucked in. Pull that forefoot down. So make sure it is coming through into the hamstring. Now still on that same leg, we'll stretch the IT band. So if you have got a hip replacement, don't do this one, just continue with your hamstring stretch. Otherwise, turn your heel inwards, lead with your heel and bring that leg across your body. Still keep it pulled in towards the chest as much as you can. Keep that buttock pressed to the floor. Ease the leg back to the center, bend your left knee, allow both knees to flop out to the side, your inner thigh stretch. Push out through that right heel, straighten through the right knee. Chin tucked in, shoulder blades pressed to the floor. Changing legs. Land wide around the forefoot. Pressing up with the heel, down with the hip, bend the elbows, knee towards your shoulder. Pull your forefoot down. So whenever you are stretching, you are making sure you are feeling the stretch in the right place, and you're comparing left and right side. So if you are particularly tight on one side, come back and do one more stretch on that side. Remember to snap on those stretches. Now your RT band stretch, so remember hip replacement, just continue with this. Otherwise turn your heel inwards, lead with your heel, bringing that leg across your body, feeling a stretch on the outside of that thigh, so keeping that leg pulled towards the chest. Ease the leg back to the center, bend your right knee, allow both knees to flop out to the side. Pushing out through that left heel, equal pressure through onto the buttocks. Ease the leg back to the center, we'll do a buttock stretch. Left foot on the right knee, hold behind that right thigh, or your firmer stretch in front of your right knee, hugging the thigh towards your chest. Now just try dropping that right knee a little to the right hand side, just looking for that firmer stretch into the left buttock. Relax your tailbone back towards the floor. And changing sides, holding behind your left thigh or in front of that left knee, hugging the thigh towards your chest. And just looking for that firmer stretch. See if dropping the left knee to the left-hand side does give you a firmer stretch into that right buttock. And easing out of that, and we'll lie over onto our sides for a thigh stretch. So whole upper body in a nice straight line, that bottom leg way forwards. Bring the heel to the buttock. Make sure that your knee is at hip height and pull that knee back and behind, being aware of tucking with the pelvis and then pulling back and behind your torso. So this stretch should border onto pain, but only into the thigh, nowhere else. So protect your lower back by maintaining that tuck with your pelvis. Tucking under and pulling back and behind. That really firm, effective stretch. And over to the other side. So that bottom leg way forwards, heel to the buttock, tucking with the pelvis, pulling back and behind your torso. Breathe through the stretch. Consciously relax your stretch muscle and ease a little further into that stretch on your breath out. And easing out of that. Just going to change the angle slightly there. And you're ready for your hover. Actually, we've not done a calf stretch. So we'll do downward dog to stretch out through the calves. But if you have sore shoulders and this one's not suitable for you, feel free to do your normal one against the wall. So with that back leg back, nice and straight, leaning into it. But otherwise, we'll just do a downward dog to stretch your palms. Wrist in underneath your shoulder, knees are in underneath the hips, tuck your toes. Make sure that your feet are nice and straight and slowly alternate with the legs to press one heel down towards the floor at a time. Now pushing down with both. Keep the weight more on the little toe side of your foot and try and get your heels as flat onto the floor as you can. Keep your feet nice and straight. And easing out with that. Now for your hover, you can stay on the knees if you need to. Make sure that your forearms are parallel, palms are facing up. So your start position is on your knees. What you're really after is that tuck under with the pelvis. So that tuck under so that you isolate into the tummy, not feeling it in your back. We will be doing it for 2 minutes, but if it means that you need to ease out of it and join it again when you're ready, then do so. Just making sure you're feeling those correct muscles. So hips up at shoulder height, tuck your toes, lift it and hold it. So as I said before, you're only going to get the benefit of this one if you are doing it and not just watching me. Keep tucking under with the tailbone. And nice, deep, relaxed breaths. Breathe in for a count of 4. Slow breath out for a count of 6. Breathe all the air out, squeezing the core as well as engaging through the pelvic floor. Keep your shoulders pressed away from your ears. No hunching with those shoulders. Nice and strong through your center and pinching the buttocks will give you more stability. Neck in line with the rest of the spine, looking down between your hands. Concentrate on that breathing. Keep your hips up at shoulder height. Make sure they're not starting to dip down. That's already a minute. Just one more to go. Keep up that deep, slow breathing. Breathing in for 4. That slow breath out for 6. Breathing all the air out, squeezing the core, as well as engaging through the pelvic floor. That's a minute and a half, just 30 seconds to go. Keep tucking under with the tailbone. Keep strong through your center. Added benefit is you can feel you're getting a little warmer. On these chilly winter mornings, this hover can warm you up. It just takes a couple of minutes. Release it gently and come back into rest position. So feet together, knees out wide, and you aim to flatten your spine and sink your chest low to the floor. So remember, if you have sore knees, your alternate rest position is lying on your back, hugging your knees to your chest. And easing out of that. We'll lie on our backs and do heel taps. For the heel taps, once again, you need to maintain a pelvic tilt so that your lower back is flattened onto the floor. And if you have got a sore neck, Pop a rolled up towel or a cushion in underneath the head. You'll be looking forwards at a 45-degree angle. That's to keep your neck in the right position. Make sure that you lift the buttocks up, press the buttocks out the way, and now maintain that tuck of the pelvis. So knees are in line with your belly button and your calves are parallel to the floor. Keep the same bend in the knee, just going to hinge from your hip joint as you lightly tap your heel on the floor and lift. What you don't want is to sway in through your back. So make sure that you're pulling those abdominals in and your back is pressed down. Now, so either alternating, you'll breathe out as you lower and a deep breath in as you lift. Or more of a challenge, squeeze your knees together, lower your legs as low as you can where your lower back still stays imprinted onto the floor. So just one at a time, we're both together, breathing out to lower, deep breath in to raise. Take as long to lower as you do to raise, so make sure you're not doing this sort of thing. Breathing out to lower, deep breath in to raise. So close through the rib cage on your breath out and flatten those abdominals and a deep breath in to lift. Nice sideways movement of the rib cage and not up and down movement of those abdominals. Make sure those tummy muscles are pulled in and your back is pressed flat onto the floor. Never brace the abdominals by pushing out, always brace by pulling them in. Use your breathing to make the exercise more effective. So on that breath out, get the closing through the rib cage, the flattening of the abdominals. Keep that lower back imprinted. We've got one more. And hug your knees in close. Just squeeze those knees to the chest so that you're stretching out through your back in case your back did arch at any time. We'll do side to side, so flexibility first. So keeping the feet on the floor, we'll do that with the first two. Then you've got the option of lifting the legs. Taking the arms out, shoulder level, palms are facing up. Push through with your hips, try and get your knees as flat onto the floor as you can. Squeeze core into the thighs to lift. Turn to look to the fingers of your opposite hand, squeezing core into the thighs to raise. Push through with your hips, try and get your knees as flat onto the floor as you comfortably can. Keep your shoulders nice and flat. Either continue with that, otherwise knees in line with the belly button, feet a little higher than your knees. Keep your knees locked together. Take the legs halfway to make it easier, as low to the floor as you can, where you're still keeping that opposite shoulder down flat. Squeezing core into the thighs to lift. Keep those shoulders nice and flat. Then you have three things as you lift your legs. Squeeze the knees, squeeze the core, as well as engaging through the pelvic floor. Breathing out as you lower, and a deep breath in as you lift. Keeping those knees glued together, squeezing core into inner thighs as you raise. Breathing out to lower, and a deep breath in to lift. Keeping your shoulders nice and flat, one more to each side. Keeping the knees locked together. Back up to the center, relax your feet to the floor. Now you'll twist, your stretch. You can just keep the knees vertically stacked, get those knees nice and close into your armpit. If you'd like a firmer stretch, just watch for the change. You're going to have your feet mat distance apart, and you're going to drop both knees across to the right-hand side. Place your right foot on top of your left knee, and try and use that foot to press your left knee as low to the floor as you comfortably can. You can flop both knees down to the floor, all within your limits. You will get a firm stretch through the front of that left hip. you may feel it into your lower back as well. So just be mindful as to how far to push. Nice deep breaths, always consciously relaxing those stretch muscles. Now uncross the legs, squeeze the core to come back to the center. So make sure that your feet on that distance apart. Drop into the left-hand side, left foot on top of that right knee, using the foot to push the knee as low to the floor as you comfortably can. So try to get both knees as low to the floor as possible. Make sure that you are still beelining so your back is supported. Uncross the legs, squeeze the core, coming back, and just rock your knees to the chest. You sometimes do get quite a stretch into that lower back, so just relieving that by rocking in. Tuck your chin in and just bend your elbows, no hunching as you pull those knees to your chest. It's a rocking movement, backwards and forwards. Now use your hands to circle your knees. Good pain relieving movement on that lower back, and reverse your circle. Okay, we'll sit up for rollbacks. So strengthening the abdominals through a range of movement. And now rollbacks, you need to get that tucking of the pelvis, that curving of your back so that you roll it down smoothly as opposed to going down like a plane. If your back is sore and you're battling to get that tucking, you can go to perfect abdominal curl. You'll interlink your fingers or hands on opposite shoulders and you will squeeze ribs to hips, keeping your natural curve and working from your center, not pulling from neck or shoulders. So now your rollbacks, you can use your band or you can hold on to hand weights. So I'll just use the band for the first few to show you. I'm sure you all know what you're doing by now. Keep that same bend at the knees, no straightening of the legs as you do it. So just halfway back. Now get that tucking, rocking back of the pelvis. Work from your center, squeeze ribs to hips. Just halfway down, pelvic tilt. Lift the tailbone and squeeze ribs to hips. Otherwise, taking it down as low as you can to that point where you still have tension in those abdominals and peel and breathe and still bring yourself back up. Or holding hand weights, keep that same angle, no straightening. Breathing out to roll back, deep breath in, and a last breath out, peeling the spinal. Squeeze your knees together. Now try to keep in time with me. Get that tucking, 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 and squeeze ribs to hips to come up. Curve into your back. Work from your center to bring yourself up. Sink into the hips, tuck with the pelvis, squeezing ribs to hips on the way. Draw those shoulder blades into pocket, tuck with the pelvis, squeezing ribs to hips. Breathing out to roll back, deep breath in. Last breath out to help you out. Flex your feet strongly and making sure those knees are glued together. Curve into your back, get that tucking of the pelvis. Squeezing ribs to hips as you bring yourself back up again. Chin tucked in, looking towards your abdominals. Last breath out to help you. Squeezing ribs to hips on the way. Curve into the back. And last breath out. You are nearly there. I haven't forgotten you. Roll down and stay down. Now comes the nice part. Stretch those arms up and overhead. And get your whole body as flat onto the floor as you comfortably can. So did you do all the rollbacks or did you stop halfway? Don't worry, you can always snack on them throughout the day. And easing out of that. And we're going to roll over onto our sides to do a double side leg lift. Now, if you have got a sore hip and can't lie over onto your side, you could repeat side to side if you wanted to. But if you're just feeling lazy, try and summon up the energy to do double side leg lift with me. So it's working through the oblique abdominals. Just check your positioning. So lying right on the outer edge of your mat and have your legs forwards from your mat. Really important to tuck with the pelvis, so it's that pelvic tilt. Don't go into an arch in the back. Keep your hips vertically stacked. Your hand on the far edge of your mat at the level of the waist. Hold upper body in a nice straight line. Try not to touch the floor between repetitions. So last breath out, keep your inner thighs squeezed together, lift both legs. Now if it's too much and you still want to try it, you can lift just that bottom leg. So last breath out. It's just a small range of movement. Keep your inner thighs glued together and think of lifting up from that bottom leg. Maintain the tuck with the pelvis. Don't start to roll over backwards. Keep your hips vertically stacked. Use that last breath out. Keep your inner thighs squeezed together. Now lift the legs, hold them there. Place your fist into your waist. Make sure your legs are still forwards from your torso. Now you can put the hand back down or keep the fist where it is. 10 quick ones with the hand on the waist. Lift it and hold it, hold it, hold it, and relax. And over onto the other side. Just be aware of your positioning. Make sure you lie on the outer edge of the mat, but your legs stay forwards from the mat. So legs are forwards from that mat. Hold upper body in a nice straight line. Hand on the far edge of your mat. Squeeze your core. Try and maintain a space between your waist and the floor. Last breath out as you lift. Shoulder blades are in pocket, looking directly forwards, and use that last breath out. Keep your inner thighs squeezed together, keep vertically stuck, lift it, hold it, fist into your waist. Now you can pop your hand back down if you need to. Make sure your hips are vertically stacked, 10 quick ones. Lift it, hold it, keep that tuck with the pelvis, keep vertically stacked, keep holding, holding, and relax. Well done. And I think it's time. You thought you'd escape the side hover, but we will do a side hover. And we aim for 45 seconds on our side hover. Remember, you do have options. You can stay on the knees if you need to. Okay. And if you do want to challenge, you can raise and lower that top leg. Just looking for that second hand, elbow directly in underneath your shoulder. Getting ready, lift it and hold it, reaching your top arm up. And if you do want that challenge, a raise and a lower of that top leg. Keep your hips pressed up to the ceiling, looking forwards, neck in line with the rest of the spine. Breathe out to lift, breathe in to lower. Shoulders vertically stacked and hips vertically stacked. Squeeze your core, that corset, around your center. Keep those hips lifted high. Just 15 seconds left to go. Move the leg or keep that leg still. Maintain a tuck with the pelvis and keep those hips up. We're nearly there. Release it gently and onto the other side. So if your shoulder is sore on the other side, just do one of the alternatives. You can do side to side. When you're ready, lift it and hold it, reaching that top arm up. And for that challenge, raise and lower that top leg. Squeeze your core and push your hips up towards the ceiling. Keep those hips lifted. You've just got 15 seconds left. Yes, we are doing it a little longer. It's 45 seconds. instead of 30 seconds, and you can do it. Keep that tuck with the pelvis, keep breathing. Release it gently. Give those shoulders a circle out. And just briefly into rest position. Make sure that your knees are wide and sink your chest down low, flatten your spine. Keeping the buttocks on the heels, walk the torso around to the right-hand side, reaching out with that left hand. And across to the left-hand side, reaching out with your right hand. And easing out of that. And we're going to do a cat stretch. So starting some of your back exercises. So wrist in underneath the shoulder, knee underneath the hip. Make sure elbows are soft. Draw the tummy in, arch your back up as much as possible. Push away with your hands, push forwards with your hips. Shoulders away from the ears, sink down into your lower back. Now drawing tummy and pelvic floor in to arch up as much as possible. And a deep breath in to sink into your lower back. So breathing out to arch up. And a deep breath in to sink into your lower back. Shoulders away from the ears, elbows are soft. Draw tummy and pelvic floor in, push forwards with your hips, push away with your hands, and sink into your lower back. Breathing out to arch, and breathing in to sink into that lower back. Now we're just going to do a twist for the upper back. So still in the same position. Going to reach up, try and open your chest, try and get your shoulders vertically stacked, and then back up to the center. If your neck is sore, you don't need to reach up, you can also look down. So just working within your limits of your neck there. So open up, try and get your shoulders as vertically stacked as possible. Alternating with the sides, you feel it more in the upper back, between your shoulder blades. Make sure that you're squeezing your core. So open up through the chest. Reaching up towards the ceiling. And back down again. We've lifted the arm, it's time to lift the leg. Flex your foot. This one is called the fire hydrant, and you work through the buttocks, but squeeze your core. Now try and get that calf parallel to the floor. Squeeze the buttocks as you lift. Breathing out to lift, breathing in to lower. Keep your pelvis down, square down towards the floor. Looking down between your hands. Keep your elbows soft, shoulders away from the ears, and try to get your calf parallel to the floor. So make sure you're not doing this sort of thing. Lift from your knee, have your knee at the same level as your foot. Breathing out to lift, breathing in to lower. One more. And change sides. If you need to, just give those wrists a little shake in between. You are working strongly through those wrists. Breathe out to lift, breathe in to lower. Just check your positioning that your knee and your foot are at the same level. Think of your working muscles. Squeeze the buttocks to take that leg up. Breathe out to lift, breathe in to lower. Chin tucked in, looking down between your hands. Don't start caving in with the chest. Keep the elbows soft. Squeeze through the buttocks to get that knee lifting up. One more. And relax it down And those wrists will need a shake. Okay, bit of back strengthening. So you can hold on to your hand weights. It's time for a swim. Everybody's favorite. So the arms. So have your hand weights nearby for the next exercise. Swimming first, slow swimming. Remember, you can pop your towel in underneath your stomach, and you can keep one arm, one leg resting on the floor. So you are maintaining a tuck with the pelvis if one arm, one leg is on the floor. So not overarching into your lower back. But if arms and legs are lifted, then you will be arching into them. So breathing out to raise into lower, or arms and legs lifted. Nice and slow, don't be in a hurry. Breathing out to lift, breathing in to lower. Get that same lift of the arm and the leg and squeeze your core. Draw those abdominals in, away from the floor. Release it down gently. Short rest. Another set when you're ready. Keep drawing the tummy away from the floor. Never brace by pushing into the floor. Support your spine. So breathing out to raise, in to lower. Keep a nice smooth flowing movement. Taking as long to lift as you do to lower. Release it gently. Fast swimming. You can do your fast swimming with just your legs. Then you can pop your forehead on your hands. You can still touch the floor and keep it a little slow if you need to. Or fast swimming arms and legs. Small movement to make it easier. A larger range of movement for more of a challenge. Percussion breathing. Breathe in 5 bursts. Breathing out in 5 bursts. Squeeze the core, pinch the buttocks, keep your torso locked still. Have a short rest. Make sure you're not pulling upwards with your neck. Look down towards the floor. Another set of fast swimming. Keep your torso locked still. Release it down gently. Holding onto your hand weights. Palms are facing inwards. Just check that your legs are nice and wide, at least neck distance. Lift your arms higher than your torso. Pinch your shoulder blades. Release it down. Continue to look down towards the floor. Don't pull upwards with your neck. Head comes along for the ride. Don't leave the head behind. Bring it up with you. Breathe in to lift. Breathing out to lower. Reach hands for toes. Make sure that you are lifting those arms up higher than your torso. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Concentrating on triceps. So back of the arms, your shoulder blades, and your lower back as you lift as high as you comfortably can. Breathing in to lift, breathing out to lower. Reach hands for toes as you lift. Make sure that you, as you raise, pinch your shoulder blades. We've got one more. Release it gently. Back extensions, just flexibility into that lower back. Hands next to your shoulders, onto your forearms, onto your hands, back onto your elbows and down. If your back is sore and you need to make it a little bit easier, you may want to have those hands a little forward so it's less arching into your back. Breathe in to lift and breathing out to lower. Keep your hips pressed onto the floor, not lifting up from your hips, and keep your elbows tucked in. And yes, you can go for that more challenging one. Reaching back to hold onto your ankles, flex your feet, push your heels to the ceiling, lift the chest, lift your thighs, release with control. Heels to the ceiling, pinch your shoulder blades, lift those thighs up off the floor, release it gently. Heels to the ceiling, lift chest and thighs, release with control. Breathing in to raise and breathing out to lower. One more. Release it gently, and you'll need to give the back a stretch out in rest position. So just make sure that your knees are wide and sink your chest down low, flatten your spine. Easing out of that, and we'll do a spiral stretch, just stretching out through the sides. So sitting up, one leg directly out in front of you. Make sure your foot is up towards the ceiling. You'll be in this rotated position. When you come up out of the stretch, if your back is sore, face that straight leg to uncurl and face the bent leg for more of a challenge. Deep breath in, rotate to the bent leg. Breathing out, take yourself across to the straight leg. Hold the inside of the foot if you can reach it. Slide your other hand between the shoulder blades. Tuck your elbow in close. Twisting your chest up to the ceiling. Bending elbow, armpit closer to that straight leg. And yes, for those of you who are flexible, you can go into the pretzel. Keep twisting your chest up towards the ceiling and breathing into the armpits. One more deep breath. Stretch both hands out towards the straight leg, facing straight or bent leg. Squeeze the core to uncurl, release it down, and changing sides. So a deep breath in, rotate to the bent leg. Breathing out, take yourself across to the straight leg. Hold the inside of the foot if you can reach it, other hand between the shoulder blades. Twisting your chest up towards the ceiling. And you can go to that pretzel if you did so on the other side. Relax into your twist on your breath out. One more deep breath. Stretch both hands out towards the straight leg, facing straight or bent leg. Squeeze the core and release it down. We will do bridging, and you have got a couple of options with your bridging. Today I'm going to take those arms up and overhead, get that nice opening up through the chest. But you can alternate with the legs if you want to work a little harder with the buttocks. So I'll just show you those variations, and you can just do your basic if your back is sore. So if your back is sore, you'll gradually nudge yourself up higher, just working within your limits. We will do a few pelvic tilts first. So make sure that your ankles in underneath your knee, your feet are hip distance apart, and palms are facing up. No pillow behind the head. Pelvic tilt using tummy and pelvic floor. Don't squeeze the buttocks at the moment. Make sure that you're pulling in and not bracing by pushing out. The lower back is flat into the floor. Release back to neutral. So pelvic tilt, engaging through tummy and pelvic floor. Your lower back pressed onto the floor. Get that stretching through your lower back and release back to neutral. Now pelvic tilt. When you lift up, squeeze the buttocks, peel your spine off the floor. maintain a tuck with the pelvis. Don't go into hyperextension in that lower back. Now your options are you can take those arms overhead and you'll keep them overhead as you roll yourself down one vertebra at a time, or you can keep the arms to the side, and if you want to work a little harder, keep your knees level, keep those hips lifted high, straighten one leg at a time, and then roll your back down. Okay, so 3 different things you can do there. So pelvic tilt, make sure you just engaging through tummy and pelvic floor when you lift up. Now squeezing the buttocks tight, get movement through the vertebra. Arms up and overhead, reach through your fingertips, push the back of the arms into the floor, get that tucking, tucking, tucking with the pelvis, roll your spine down. Very last thing you'll do is release through the pelvic tilt and arms back to your sides. So pelvic tilt, engage through tummy and pelvic floor. Make sure that you're pulling in and not bracing outwards. Peel your spine off, get movement through the vertebra. So you can either take those arms overhead or join me with the leg straightening. Keep those hips lifted high, keep your pelvis square up towards the ceiling, keep your knees level, one each side, tucking with the pelvis, rolling your spine down. So pelvic tilt, peeling your spine up off the floor, squeeze the buttocks, maintain that tuck with the pelvis, keep your knees level as you alternate with those legs. And tucking with the pelvis, get as much movement through the vertebra as you can. Roll your back down. Last thing you do is release through that pelvic tilt. Tucking, peeling the spine off. So remember, feel free to take those arms up and overhead. Otherwise, alternating with the legs. Tucking with the pelvis, rolling your spine down. So pelvic tilt, imprint the lower back. Squeeze the buttocks, press your shoulders into the floor, tuck your chin in, squeeze the buttocks, keep those hips lifted high, alternate with the legs, tucking, 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 roll it down. Last thing you do is release through that pelvic tilt. Now we'll just do a few. There's another variation. We'll just do 3 each leg. You can keep your leg lifted into tabletop, and now you can lift up and roll your spine down. Keep that leg lifted, tuck, peel your spine up, push your hips up high, and roll your spine down. And one more tucking, peeling the spine off, push your hips up, roll your spine down, and change legs. You'll notice your hamstring on that working leg is having to work a lot harder when you're in this position. So tuck, peel off, push your hips up high, squeeze those buttocks, and roll your spine down. So tuck, peel off, squeeze the buttocks, push your hips up, tuck your chin in, shoulders down, roll your spine down. One more, tucking, peeling off, push your hips up, roll your spine down. Once you're down, hug your knees to the chest. So if you enjoyed those variations, feel free to snack on them through the week. So just tucking in and give those knees a circle. And reverse your circle. And we're going to be doing arm weights. So when you're ready, standing up. Standing up, holding onto your hand weights. All right, so you can stand on one leg if you want to work a little bit harder. So knee up to the level of the hip, the arms are up. Actually, we'll start here, elbows tucked in, elbow, shoulder and wrist at the same height, wrist above the elbow, take it back down and tuck in. Get balancing on the top of the neck, no chin poking, squeeze your core nice and strong through that supporting leg. Chin tucked in, looking directly forwards. Keep your shoulder blades gently pinched, keep nice and open through your chest. change legs, press up to the ceiling and pull back. Elbows shouldered, so nice, in a nice straight line as if you're leaning against a wall. As you push up, coming slightly forwards. Push up, pull back. Squeeze your core nice and strong through that supporting leg. Push up, pull back. Push up, pull back. One more. Bring those arms down. Change legs. Squeeze in, push out. Palms inwards, palms out. Squeeze in, push out. Breathing in and breathing out. Elbows together. Stop, change legs, straighten the arms. One forwards, one up. One forwards, one up. Try and create a little bit of self-resistance. Squeeze in, push out. Squeeze in, push out. Keep your head nice and still, looking directly forwards. Stop, change legs. Can anybody guess? Yay, small circles. Take those arms back behind your torso. Keep your head nice and still. Concentrate on your upper back. Pinch between those shoulder blades and reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it there. Straighten those arms. Relax your shoulders. And relax. Well done. Just giving those arms a little stretch out. Slide your hand between your shoulder blades, and if you want that firmer stretch, lean to the side. Squeeze your core to come up. Push your hand down between your shoulder blades. Easing out of that, cross your arms over. Now if that's too much, you can just have your elbows together. Now reach up for the ceiling. Reaching up, and now circle with those elbows. Reaching up, circling round, reverse it, reaching up, circling round, just within the limits of tight shoulders. Okay, now remember which arm was up and which was down. You're going to cross it over, or just keep those elbows together if that's too much. Try and have the palms of the hands together. Reaching up towards the ceiling. Loosening through your shoulders, but always work within your limits of discomfort. With those elbows a circle. So the purpose being to loosen your shoulders and reverse your circle. And release. Now we're going to take the hands out wide, and you're going to flex back through the wrists. Take your arms back behind your torso, flex back through your wrists. It's a nerve stretch, so if you do feel any tingling, it may be because of tight nerves, so it would be a good idea to repeat this a few times during the day. And release. Then we're going to do a nice side stretch. So heels locked together, feet are turned out. Keep your hips facing forwards, arm in line with your ear. Breathe out to reach. Squeeze core and inner thighs to lift. Breathe out as you reach over. Squeezing core and inner thighs. Crown of the head and fingertips towards the side wall, and have that arm in line with your ear. Keep your hips facing forwards and reach over as much as you comfortably can. Squeeze core and inner thighs to raise. One more. And back to your tripod foot position, stretching through your neck. Check shoulder blades are in pocket, arms are facing in. Looking over your shoulder and over the other side. Drop your head right back, chin right up to the ceiling. As you take chin to chest, interlink the fingers, Let your elbows sag down. It's more the weight of the arms than pulling down. Feel that stretch all through the back of your neck. Breathe through your stretch. And release. Now ear to shoulder, gentle pull, keeping your shoulders level. Gently release to the other side. Nice and gentle with the neck. And release. Clasp your hands. Try and lift those arms up as high as you comfortably can. And nice big circles. And give it a little alternate. So I'll keep you posted about developments. Walk, talk, and have a great week. Talk soon.